computer security muses was arming China while he was running around screaming China was a threat. Not only did she find out that he knew that for months, she found out that he was working on the national plan to secure cyberspace immediately after 9/11. Hey, you know, why don't you keep the Chinese in the loop here? Oh, man. Now, China also isn't a member of the global antivirus brain trust. Let's talk for a second about what that brain trust is. There is a small clique of people in the antivirus industry who decide what technology you get and what technology you don't. They include people like Jimmy Kuo at McAfee. They include, in the US contingent, you've also got Kerry Natchenberg at Symantec. Over in Russia, you've got Eugene Kaspersky at Kaspersky Labs. In Germany, you've got Klaus Brunstein. Over in Europe, you've also got Mikko Hipponen and Veselin Bonchev. And these people are a very tight clique, and they're the ones who think, with the 6 inches between these two fingers, they're using this gray matter right here all the time to decide what technology you do get in your antivirus software and what technology you don't. If you're going to take over the antivirus industry, if you're going to take over research, you've got to take over the brain trust. You need them to trust you enough to let them take it over. And China isn't a member of the brain trust. The closest they've got is Jimmy Kuo. He's an American citizen with a Chinese name. That's it. So it won't be China, and that just leaves Russia. What I'm going to tell you now is what the antivirus industry almost universally believes. This is a collective belief in the antivirus industry. First of all, they believe that the KGB, which is now known as the FSB, has total situational awareness in the antivirus industry. The KGB knows everything that goes on, not just in the antivirus industry, but also deep within the brain trust. They know it all. And furthermore, globally, the antivirus industry believes that the CIA does not have this kind of access. Only Russia has this kind of access. The global antivirus industry also believes that the Russians have a product like the Advice rootkit. What is the Advice rootkit? That's the rootkit you use to take over a server that's running antivirus software. It hacks the best product running as root, antivirus software, because as we all know, antivirus software is filled with flaws. I should know that. I wrote the Advice rootkit back in 1997. And by the way, since I've got a Bible here, I need Major, I want you to watch this, because I went to Holiday Inn and I broke into, I didn't want my Bible to be stolen, so I broke into somebody else's place and I got their Gideon Bible. I swear that no government agency on earth has ever asked me for any product information besides Iran. You're not laughing, but I am. Nobody ever comes up to me and asks me about this stuff. But the KGB almost certainly has an Advice-like rootkit. That's what the global antivirus industry collectively believes. That means the KGB can hack servers around the world running the latest version of Symantec, the latest version of McAfee, with all of today's updates. And I'm not going to explain how I know about zero-day exploits in those products, if you haven't figured it out. If you were Russia, this is a collective belief in the antivirus industry. If you were Russia and you knew that the internet was America's new lifeblood, if you knew that, why wouldn't you sink your talons into internet security? Why wouldn't you become one of the guards of the internet? If you were going to blow up the World Trade Center, the best way to find out about the World Trade Center is to case it as one of the guards. So you'd case it as, you know, one of the people in internet security, like, I don't know. I'm not saying that you know, Dmitry Gryaznov at McAfee is a Russian patriot. I'm just saying that Dmitry Gryaznov is a Russian at McAfee. That'd be the way to do it. And again, I'm not insulting Dmitry when I say that. So who's the KGB's choice? Everybody in the antivirus industry is going to sing this one name out, Eugene Kaspersky. They're all going to sing it in chorus because they all believe in their heart of hearts that Eugene Kaspersky is the one who will be able to take over nearly all corporate antivirus research in 3.5 years. And they're all wrong in the antivirus industry. It's someone else. And I'm going to name that someone in 2 slides. But in order for you to understand why Eugene Kaspersky is not the logical choice, you need to understand why the antivirus industry believes that he is such the logical choice. This is a picture of Eugene Kaspersky and a picture of his wife, Natalia. Eugene Kaspersky is the equivalent of Bruce Schneier in Moscow. Bruce Schneier, when he goes, by a round of applause, how many people know Bruce Schneier? Okay. Bruce Schneier is a demigod in Washington. When Bruce flies into D.C., everybody's listening to him. He could sneeze and they're all, whoa, did you hear about that? It's a new zero-day exploit that's been going through Bruce. The same thing happens when this guy goes to Moscow. When Eugene Kaspersky speaks in Moscow, everybody is listening. He's that popular. He and his wife, Natalia, founded Kaspersky Labs in 1988. They didn't do antivirus software in the beginning, but they quickly got into it. And he is now one of the top packages in the world. He's one of the top 10 in the world, and if you're in Russia and you're using antivirus software, you're almost certainly pirating his, or using his stuff. He's a full member of the Antivirus Brain Trust. When Eugene Kaspersky talks, Jimmy Kuo at McAfee is listening. When Eugene Kaspersky talks, Klaus Brunstein in Germany is listening. When he talks, everybody in the Brain Trust is listening. And it's widely believed, it's almost universally believed in the antivirus industry that he is a KGB operative. Now, do I believe he's a KGB operative? I don't know. But without proof, I would assume that, yeah, he's probably briefing the KGB on everything that he does. That's how the KGB would have total situational awareness on what happens in the industry and what's happening in the Brain Trust. And the antivirus industry doesn't seem to mind this. Did you hear what I just said? Good. Now, if Eugene's not the one to take over the antivirus industry, all research in 3.5 years, who is? It's this guy, Kostin Ryu. I hope I got his name right. I probably didn't, but he hates my guts, so screw him. Did I get that on tape? Kostin hates my guts. Kostin Ryu is one of the top lieutenants at Kaspersky Labs. More importantly, he's the lieutenant that goes along with Eugene Kaspersky whenever they go into the media or whenever they go into political circles. Kostin is the one that is being groomed for greatness. In the same way that a general grooms a colonel for greatness, you're going to be a general someday, follow me, I'm grooming you. In the same way that generals groom colonels, Eugene is grooming Kostin for greatness. Here's my scenario. Prediction, 3.5 years, KGB comes down and says, Mother Russia needs you, Kostin. I answer Mother Russia's call. They front him with a bunch of money, he starts up a startup, and then he turns to Jimmy Kuo at McAfee. Hey, I'll pay you twice as much. We'll put you in the little home office. You can, play with your 2.3 kids during the day, and you can finally do all the research you've been craving to do. Carrie Natchenberg at Symantec, I'll pay you twice as much. You can live at home with your 2.3 children. Klaus Brunstein and all the others. He just sucks up the world's brain trust. And then that way, McAfee and Symantec and Microsoft and all the others can dump all of their duplicate research efforts. And they can all buy research from this one firm in Russia. And then, of course, Eugene can continue working at Kaspersky Labs. He and his wife can continue making money as business people, because that's what they are, they're business people. They peel away Kostin because he's the academic, and he goes off and he has his own greatness. And Kostin will always stand up and say, Eugene was my mentor. Wouldn't that be cool? That's the prediction that I have to make. So, by the year 2010, Russian patriot Kostin Ryu will control or oversee nearly all of the world's corporate antivirus research. Or for our people from Offutt Air Force Base, Kostin Ryu will oversee a vital part of Air Force's cyberspace defense mission. Now I want you to see here, I use the words Russian patriot, and I use them here for a very important reason. I am a computer security critic, and there is nothing ethically wrong with answering your mother country's call for service. This man right here answered his call for service years ago. That major right there answered his call for service. There is nothing ethically wrong with standing up and answering the call of your mother country. All of the sailors on the USS Kursk, all of the sailors on the Russian submarine, the Kursk, a few years ago, they were Russian patriots. There is nothing wrong with the KGB coming down and this guy being a Russian patriot. He would answer the call. Your decision is whether you want a Russian patriot in charge of all of your global antivirus research and development efforts. I can answer for you. That's why I can stand up here and say this and not be hit for slander and libel. I'm not accusing him of anything bad. There's nothing wrong with this. If the CIA ever came up to me and said, give me a copy of the Advice Rootkit, the question is only whether I would answer my country's call. That's all it is. Of course, I told you, CIA's never asked for that. Oh, well. And that leads me back to the final slide. Joe Sixpack still does not know what's going on here. Still does not care, and I am comfortable with the fact that he doesn't know me. Once again, my name is Rob Rosenberger. Thank you very much for your time. Woo!